So today we're talking tires. I'm going to give you my perspective on what I think is a good Hare Scramble tire for the Northeast and what I personally run. So this is your typical tire that you're going to get on your newer KTM. It is the Geomax AT81, and it's a pretty good tire. It's just what they come with. Uh, it's just good for just getting started, but I would recommend switching to something else for racing application. So, I mean, it lasts a pretty good amount of time. Just the traction just isn't where it should be for my style of racing, for Hare scrambles anyways. But the compound is pretty tough, and that's why, like, the traction, I mean, like I said, it's a good tire, but the traction just isn't there. But they make a version. It is the AT81 EX, which is the gummy version of this, and it's a pretty good tire. I have not ridden on it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, which I am going to try it this season. So it's just like this, only the compound is much softer and the carcass is much softer, so the tire gets a lot more flex. I am going to be trying that and then doing a review on it compared to the tire I currently run now. Another option that a lot of guys out here run is the Pirelli MT16, and this is another good all-around tire. Longevity, it lasts a long amount of time. The tread depth is pretty gnarly, and the sidewall is nice, which gives it good side hilling traction. I first started running this tire on my Yamaha YZ250 FX because this is the tire that everybody was telling me to get in my race chat. I didn't know too much about tires at that time. It is a good tire, but some things I just didn't care for is I still didn't get the traction that I wanted on the slippery, wet roots and rocks, and in certain mud situations. I wasn't getting the traction I wanted. I also didn't like the characteristics that it gave my bike, because I noticed the circumference of the tire is massive compared to other tires like this one here, this AT81 here, and it threw off my gearing. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but I'm neurotic and I noticed it, and I just noticed my gear seemed a little shorter because the wheel circumference was larger, and I just didn't like it. So this is the tire that just came on this other bike here, but my go-to tire right here is the Cheater 525, and this one is made by Shinko. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. So it's the Shinko Cheater 525, and this is an awesome tire. I first started using this tire on my Husky 150, and the reason why I have a lot of confidence in this tire is when I was riding with a group of friends. We went across a deep river, and on the other side was a really steep hill with a lot of gnarly wet roots, and I watched 4 people on 250s slide out and just get messed up on this hill. So when it was my turn to come up and go up the hill, I mean, I made it with that 150 no problem. I'm not saying this is the Superman of all tires. I'm just saying the traction and the confidence you get from this tire is, excellent. The carcass is very gummy, and you have a lot of, like, when this tire is new, the treads are nice. They're kind of like the MT16, very gnarly tread, and you can see the side tread on there. Very nice. It's pretty chewed up now. I have about 4 races on this tire and 2 joy rides, which were probably a few hours long each. This isn't the longest lasting tire, but if you want the best possible traction for a decent price, this is definitely a tire you should consider. Shinko also makes the 505, and the difference between that tire and this tire is the lug pattern is blockier. Like, the blocks are larger and they cover more of the tire, which I think is nice for maybe out west if you ride a lot of like slate rock and things like that. It would give you more grip. But the reason why I like this tire over the 505 is it wicks away the mud. I race in a lot of mud. The gap in between the treads is pretty spaced out, so it wicks away the mud much easier and faster than the 505 would. And also a lot of people like to run the Tusk Recon tire. That is a nice cheap alternative, but again, that Tusk Recon tire is like the MT16. The circumference of the tire is massive compared to the other tires, and it just makes the bike feel pretty goofy. I don't like it. It just makes the bike feel goofy for some reason. I never liked it on my FX. It just felt heavier, more goofier, and I think it would do good for a lot of like hard enduros and like the larger tire or the fatter tire. But for me, for trying to go fast to the woods, it just wasn't for me. So that Tusk Recon is another no-no for me. Personally, I'm not saying it's a bad tire. I'm just saying it's goofy. I've seen it on one of my fellow racers' bikes, and I didn't really care for it. And also, again, the knobs are close together, like the Shinko 505, so it doesn't wick away the mud the way this Cheater 525 would. Definitely a nice tire. It's probably like 40%. I've been doing some road riding with it to get to trails, so it's a little chewed up, but this tire is actually well rounded. It does great in the roots, the slimy rocks. Also, we did a winter ride and there was no snow on the ground, but there was this long wooden bridge and it was off camber, and it was early in the morning, so there must have been some dew or a real light bit of frost on there, and I watched 3 guys slide right out, no warning or anything like that, and I just went over that bridge with ease. I've seen other guys go around it after seeing the other guys slide out on there, and I went over it with ease. Again, I'm not saying this is, this tire is unbreakable here with, I'm not saying you won't slide out, but the confidence is just very good with this tire. Moving around to the front, yeah, and you can actually pick this tire up for about, I believe it was $65, $70, somewhere around there. I could be wrong, but I mean the prices do vary. I'm pretty sure I paid around $65, $70 for this tire. Moving around to the front, typically you'd get another one of these AT81s, the Geomax front tire, and I don't really care for this tire at all. The rear tire is decent, but this tire, I don't know, something feels funny about the front end with this tire, like it wants to wash out or do some weird stuff in the loomy type texture of stuff that I ride in sometimes. So not a fan of this. I always take this off right away. That's why it looks so new. But I'm sure you know about the M59. Everybody pretty much runs this tire. This is the Bridgestone M59, and you just can't go wrong with this front tire. It's cheap and it's well rounded. Gives you good confidence in pretty much any kind of terrain. Price range for this is about $65 to $80. I would never spend any more than $80 on this tire. You can usually pick them up on sale, but I noticed some people try to price gouge and sell them for like $120. Never pay that for this tire. Manchester Honda in Connecticut sells them on, when they put them on sale for about $65, $70, somewhere around there. On this bike, when I picked it up, this has got some kind of Scorpion tire on there. I've never really ridden with this tire, but it looks more to me like some kind of a loomy sand tire. That's coming off right away. I'm just gonna go with the proven tested tire here with the M59, and I'll get a freshie and toss it on there. I know I haven't really said anything, but this is the 2020 TPI. I picked up this 2019 250 XC, and I'm going to be running this for the 2021 season after I swap out these tires and go to what I trust. I do think that I'm going to give the AT81 EX a try this go around. I love that tire, but I'm going to give it a try because a lot of people swear by it, and it's got a really soft carcass. Maybe potentially softer than that one, the carcass, not the knobs. So I'm gonna, for a little bit more tire flex, for a little bit more traction, I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know what the price range on that tire is, but I'm gonna be doing a review after I try it and compare these two and see which one I like better. So I'm gonna do that for longevity, how much life I get out of it, and what type of traction I get out of it, and what the prices and the difference is gonna be between the two tires. And also typically what I run for PSI in my tires, I always run the Ultra HD tubes, and I use about 9 psi, 9.5 psi. I weigh about 175, 180 pounds suited, and that's just the psi I run. People say it's too low, but I've never caught a pinch flat from running 9.5 or 9 psi in any of my tires. This other bike that I picked up has the tubeless in the rear, which I tried out once on the TPI and on my Husky 150. I had issues with it for whatever reason. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but I always caught a flat by the valve stem, so with the bladder. So I ended up taking it out and just going with the old-fashioned heavy-duty tubes, and I haven't had any issues with them as of yet, so you can't go wrong with that. I'll be swapping the front out and put a ultra heavy duty tube up in there too. I do have nitro mousses, but for fast-paced racing, I don't think I want to use them because they're god-awful heavy. And when I felt the weight of the nitro mousses compared to a tube, it just wasn't worth it for me. I'm not really like a big guy, so you know, any bit of weight savings is great for me. You know, I noticed this carbureted bike is actually a little bit, it feels side to side a little bit lighter than the TPI does. I know it is a little bit lighter, but the feel of it feels a little lighter also. But once I get some time on the new to me XC250, the carbureted bike, I'm gonna do a review between the TPI and the carbureted bike. What do I notice with the power characteristics and whatnot. I do love my TPI bike. I don't have any big gripes about it. I'll probably make another video later on why I decided to go to a car bike. But that's that. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video, guys. Let me know in the comments what tires you guys run for you know, your Hare scrambles. Maybe I'll try those out and see if there's anything better maybe for the front tire, because I've never ventured away from the M59. I'm just wondering if there's anything else, and I only run J-Days and Hare scrambles. I don't do really MX racing or anything like that. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.